The FBI operation that led to Fred Hampton's death is shrouded in controversy. Many believe it was a premeditated assassination, a calculated move to silence a promising and influential leader. How could an official operation have turned into what some call an execution? This shocking event raises disturbing questions about the extent of governmental power and the extreme measures taken to maintain the status quo. There are hidden details surrounding Fred Hampton's death that unveil startling secrets about the FBI and its covert operations. What really happened that night? Subsequent investigations uncovered unsettling truths that call into question the integrity and intentions of the authorities involved. Fred Hampton was far more than just a young activist. He was a force of nature who, in a short amount of time, gained the attention and respect of thousands, while also provoking fear in the FBI. As the leader of the Black Panthers in Chicago, Hampton succeeded in uniting different communities, forging powerful alliances, and challenging the oppressive system with a clear vision of justice and equality. His ability to mobilize the masses and his unwavering commitment to the cause made him one of the most charismatic and influential leaders of his time, but it also put him squarely in the crosshairs of the authorities. How did Fred Hampton, at just 21 years old, emerge as such a significant threat that the FBI deemed him too dangerous to be left alive? Let's delve into the events that led to the fatal confrontation and how his tragic death became a turning point in the civil rights struggle in the United States. Fred Hampton was born in 1948 in a working-class family in the Chicago suburbs. From an early age, he showed a strong interest in social justice, shaped by his community and the racially segregated environment he grew up in. We'll explore how his upbringing and the injustices he witnessed molded his worldview and fueled his determination to fight for the rights of the oppressed. Even as a teenager, Hampton became actively involved in the civil rights movement. He stood out as a leader of the West Suburban Improvement Association and began attracting attention for his powerful oratory skills and his ability to mobilize both young people and adults for the cause of racial equality. This section will discuss his early steps in activism and how his passion for social justice began to crystallize. Hampton's transition to the Black Panther Party was a pivotal moment in his life. Here, we'll examine how he quickly rose through the ranks to become the chairman of the Chicago chapter. His ability to articulate the needs of the Black community and build coalitions with other groups made him an indispensable figure within the movement. Fred Hampton was one of the chief architects of the Rainbow Coalition, an alliance among various ethnic minorities and marginalized groups. He believed that real change could only come through solidarity among all oppressed communities. This segment will highlight how his vision of a multiracial coalition expanded the impact of his leadership and made him even more feared by the authorities. Fred Hampton quickly became a central figure in the Black Panther Party, leading the Chicago chapter and bringing together diverse communities. His ability to organize and mobilize people was seen as a direct threat by the FBI, which feared Hampton's growing influence and the significant impact he was having on African American communities and beyond. Under the leadership of J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI launched COINTELPRO, a series of covert operations aimed at destabilizing movements deemed subversive, like the Black Panthers. Here, we'll explore how the FBI specifically targeted Fred Hampton, using a variety of tactics to undermine his leadership and sow discord within the movement. The FBI's strategy to neutralize Fred Hampton began with the infiltration of agents into the Black Panther Party. These infiltrators were not only tasked with spying, but also with sowing discord by spreading misinformation and fostering distrust among members. By manipulating information, the FBI succeeded in creating an atmosphere of paranoia and uncertainty, weakening the party's internal cohesion and isolating Hampton from his closest allies. Misinformation was one of the FBI's most effective weapons against Fred Hampton. Through fabricated rumors and forged documents, the Bureau managed to create false narratives that fueled internal divisions. This strategy not only distanced Hampton from potential allies, but also eroded trust within the movement, making it harder for the Black Panthers to organize and resist state repression. In tandem with its covert operations, the FBI launched a public campaign to demonize Fred Hampton. Using the media as a tool, the Bureau portrayed Hampton as a dangerous extremist, twisting his words and actions to incite fear in the public. This propaganda was crucial in shaping public opinion, laying the groundwork for more drastic actions against Hampton to be seen as necessary and justified. In the days leading up to the final raid, surveillance on Fred Hampton was intensified. The FBI, in collaboration with the Chicago police, closely monitored Hampton's every move. This increased surveillance was part of a strategic plan to ensure that, when the time was right, the authorities had all the necessary information to execute a precise and fatal attack. The constant data collection and monitoring aimed to eliminate any margin for error. The collaboration between the FBI and the Chicago police was crucial in executing the plan against Fred Hampton. Secret meetings and information exchanges took place to align their strategies. The presence of infiltrators within the Black Panther Party provided critical details that would facilitate the raid. This effective coordination between agencies was a key factor in the success of the operation. In the early hours of December 4, 1969, the plan that had been months in the making was set into motion. The Chicago police, armed and coordinated by the FBI, stormed the apartment where Fred Hampton was sleeping. The raid was executed with lethal precision, reflecting the level of planning and the clear intent to neutralize Hampton permanently. The gunfire that erupted that night marked the beginning of an operation that left Hampton with no chance of survival. The siege on Fred Hampton's apartment was brutal and relentless. The agents burst in with full force, unleashing a barrage of bullets. The violence was overwhelming and targeted, with the clear intention of eliminating any resistance. Fred Hampton, caught off guard and with no chance to defend himself, was fatally shot. This tragic moment revealed the authorities' determination to silence one of the most promising leaders of the Black Panthers. Fred Hampton, who at just 21 years old had already become a central figure in the civil rights struggle, was assassinated while he slept. His death was the culmination of an unrelenting campaign to neutralize a man who represented a threat to the status quo. Hampton's murder was undoubtedly a devastating blow to the movement, exposing the power and brutality of the state's repressive apparatus. Fred Hampton's death had profound repercussions on the civil rights movement and the Black Panther Party. His elimination not only weakened the party's leadership, but also instilled fear and demoralization among activists. However, his death also sparked greater awareness of the government's brutal tactics to suppress dissent, solidifying Hampton's legacy as a martyr for the cause. Despite the FBI's efforts to destroy his reputation and erase his legacy, Fred Hampton has become a symbol of resistance and the fight against oppression. His assassination, far from silencing his ideas, amplified the significance of his message and inspired future generations to continue the struggle for civil rights. Hampton's legacy endures, serving as a reminder of the cost of freedom and the importance of standing up against injustice. Fred Hampton's death sent shockwaves through the African American community and among members of the Black Panther Party. We'll explore the immediate reactions, including protests, accusations of premeditated murder, and how the community mobilized to denounce the attack as an extrajudicial execution. The belief that the fight for justice never dies is at the heart of Fred Hampton's legacy. Even after his tragic death, his vision of equality and social justice continued to inspire generations of activists. Through his example, he showed that resistance is a flame that cannot be extinguished, and that true power lies in the ability to unite and inspire the oppressed. What happens when the real threat to power isn't chaos, but hope? Fred Hampton, with his ability to unite diverse communities and promote solidarity, was seen as more dangerous than any other radical leader. Hampton's power was in his ability to create a vision of the future that directly challenged the status quo, demonstrating that the true revolution is the unity of the people. The raid and death of Fred Hampton were followed by investigations and numerous controversies. This final segment will examine the official and independent investigations that followed, the authorities' attempt to cover up the incident, and the subsequent revelations that confirmed the FBI's role in the operation, solidifying the case as a symbol of racial injustice and government oppression. Even after his death, Fred Hampton's ideas and struggle continued to influence the civil rights movement. We'll explore how his vision of social justice, equality, and solidarity among marginalized communities inspired new generations of activists and kept the spirit of resistance against racial oppression alive. Fred Hampton has become a cultural icon, representing the fight against injustice and oppression. This segment will discuss how his life and legacy continue to be celebrated in films, books, music, and collective memory, showing that his influence persists in social and political struggles to this day. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the FBI went too far with Fred Hampton? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. And be sure to check out our next video on the most intriguing UFO cases in history. Are we really alone in the universe? Let's explore these fascinating stories together.